Greetings to you all. 38 years of criminal waste of human and material resources through gross mismanagement, rampant corruption by Nissan has destroyed the country's economy. For decades now, the country has relied on imported food aid. We are so impoverished, we cannot even pay for the food, said Patrick Guramadou. We live in the day and age where human ingenuity has turned deserts from a sea of sand into a sea of wheat fields and orchards. Yet we, Zimbabwe, are now starving in a country that is, for all practical purposes, Garden of Eden. Such is the damning testimonial, the sheer incompetence of the Zimbabwean leadership. True. That is indeed a damning testimony, the sheer incompetence of the Zimbabwean leadership. But it is also an equally damning testimonial to the sheer incompetence of the Zimbabwean populace. Yes, ZANU-PF has used brute force to impose its corrupt and tyrannical rule. But it is also undeniable that in the last 4 decades, there have been many golden opportunities to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship. The best chances ever fell during the 2008 to 2013 GNU, when ZANU-PF had its hands tied behind its back by the Global Political Agreement, GPA. The party had agreed to the implementation of a raft of reforms designed to stop it rigging elections. Whenever the devil and his imps closes the door to imprison good people, sooner or later the Lord will open a window somewhere in their escape. We cannot say the Lord never opened a window for us. Indeed, in the GPA, the Lord had given us a get out of jail card. The question the people of Zimbabwe must answer, and answer honestly, is why did the nation waste the many golden opportunities to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship? There are 2 parts to the honest answer as to why the nation failed to get even one democratic reform implemented in the 5 years of the GNU. A, the immediate reason is that Mokel Trangirai and his MDC friends, whom the nation had risked life and limb to elect into parliament and cabinet, sold out. Mugabe bribed them with the trappings of high office, ministerial limos, generous salaries, a former white-owned farm for Welshman Muru, a $4 million Highlands mansion for Trangirai, etc. In return, the MDC leaders kicked reforms into the prickly pear thicket. B, you can delegate someone else to carry out a given task, but cannot delegate the responsibility to see that the task is done, as my late mother would say. The people of Zimbabwe had risked life and limb. Over 500 were murdered, and hundreds of thousands had their limbs broken by ZANU-PF thugs in the 2008 elections alone. To elect MDC leaders on the ticket that would bring about the democratic changes the nation was dying for. It was the people's duty and responsibility to make sure that MDC implemented the reforms. The people failed themselves by failing to get MDC to implement even one reform in 5 years. It is easy to see why the people were in no position to push Trangirai and company to implement the reforms. The people themselves had no clue what the reforms required for meaningful democratic change were, much less how they were to be implemented. How can the people then supervise the implementation of the reforms? They themselves have no clue what they are. And they themselves have no clue what they are. Indeed, even to this day, with the benefit of hindsight, many Zimbabweans out there still have no clue what the democratic reforms the nation is dying for are. The EU, the Commonwealth, and even the country's own Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission have all come out with election reports giving details of the flaws and irregularities, pointers to the required reforms. The Election Commission lacked full independence and appeared to always act in an impartial manner. The final results, as announced by the Election Commission, contained numerous errors and lacked adequate traceability, transparency, and verifiability. Many aspects of the 2008 elections in Zimbabwe failed to meet international standards, concluded the EU Election Observer final report. Of course, ZANU-PF blatantly rigged last year's elections, with the country up to her eyes in serious economic trouble, and precisely because of the ZANU-PF corrupt and tyrannical rule. And after 38 years of the same nonsense, one can expect the nation to stand up and say enough is enough. They did not. The news that ZANU-PF had blatantly rigged the July 2018 elections produced as much reaction as discharging a shotgun right in the face of the sloth. It will slowly open his eyes, blink a few times, and go back to sleep. As a rule of thumb, nations get government they deserve. In Zimbabwe, we certainly deserve this corrupt, vote-rigging, and tyrannical ZANU-PF dictatorship, complete with its entourage of corrupt and incompetent opposition parties, over 100 of them at the last count. If the people of Zimbabwe are serious about ending the dictatorship and the economic meltdown that has left millions living on US $1 or less a day, then they must snap out of their sloth-like slumber. There's no other way out. Thank you for listening.